Welcome, 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 Lottie Dottie and everybody. So let me make sure that we get Facebook connected because for some reason it's telling me they're having some issues streaming to Facebook. This is very interesting. But hey, we're in retrograde energy and so all of the retrograde energy, um, let's just say it's tripping. Let's just say it's tripping. It is not letting me broadcast to Facebook for some reason. Um, and I don't know why, but we are absolutely in the crust of this retrograde energy, and we might be affected by it. You know what I'm saying? So welcome, welcome, welcome. We listen. Let me just tell you. Let me give you some context. First of all, if you are new here, uh, we um, we welcome you. I am Latanya Taylor, affectionately known as the Rev Coach, the Juicy Spirit Mama, the Priestess of Purpose, Pleasure, Passion, and Profits. And I absolutely don't know what's going on with this technology fully today. So last night at the last minute, with all that I have already going on at any given time, not just today, any given time. Um, our scheduled guest, astrocartography and women's health, it was here to be our second guest for the stream, and so for the series that we've created, and to that end, we had to make an adjustment. We had to call the play. And so then we had the play ready for today, and you were going to hear from more people in the community because this topic is a living organism. Because when someone asks you why didn't they tell me about why didn't anybody tell me about this, it comes up all the time in casual conversations. However, it can be quite a challenging conversation on the spot because you think, oh, what was it? So I want to put all of this in context today because I didn't realize the retrograde energy. Whenever there is a retrograde, yep, it's still giving me issues with Facebook. What the hey is going on with Facebook? Not broadcasting with my Facebook people. Actually, it's broadcasting. It just says that we're having trouble playing the video. So I don't know what's going on with that. I need a producer to be able to do this for me, like I do for other people, so that the talent, that would be me, does not have to think about all of these technical things. The more that I do, the more support and staff and help that I need. I'm just putting my prayer out there because this is what we need to do in terms of putting prayer energy out there. So it says that it's showing on Facebook on halfway, but then it's not on another. Well, we've started a new series. Why didn't anybody tell me about? And we started it in the energy of eclipse energy and retrograde energy and conjunctions and all of that. And when I say retrograde energy, I am not talking about Mercury in retrograde because it's gone direct. I'm talking about 7 other planets in retrograde. So, one of the things that we don't talk about enough, once we have had enlightenment or have awakened, is the dark side of enlightenment and how it affects you, your relationships. Now, we are going to do a very special conversation mastermind around the dark goddess, because there's so much fear around the word dark to the darker people. Isn't that interesting? It's so much language attached to it. Evil, witchcraft, And that's not what it is. And most things that we've been told is rich witchcraft, dark, or whatever is to make us afraid. There's already enough on the front end around anything that's not in the context of religion and spirituality. Christians judge people who are Muslims. Some Muslims judge people who are Christians, Jews, African tradition, you name it. You put it in the comments. I would let you decide and vote what is the most judgmental community. What do you think is the most judgmental community? Now that you are studying and embracing other things, do you think it's Christians that are the most judgmental? Do you think it's Muslims that are most judgmental? This is very interesting. It says Latanya Taylor just commented, and that's not Latanya Taylor that just commented. Oh, okay. It's all right. We need you to comment on your profile. um, so the comment was Christians. And so we'll talk about that. I noticed though, there are more Christians who are studying things like African traditional religions, astrology, because there's a phenomena that's happening where people are tired of going to sit in the pews and being judged or feeling condemned to hell because they are educated differently. Let me say it like that. There are some people who are educated differently and have studied theology and don't have fear. I say all that to say that on the front end, there's enough fear, enough misinformation that oftentimes we don't talk about the other side, because what happens is when people become enlightened, you start saying your affirmations, you start to be more positive, you start to surround yourself with much more positive energy, and then you think, I want microwave results. Well, I'm doing my affirmations. Well, I'm reading the book. Well, I did the workshop. I've talked to 2 people this week who told me, they said it's more work. One person completed rites of passage, another person completed 2 rites of passage. They said there's more. What world do we live in that as long as you're living, because you've been being you for 30, 35, 40 years. Most of us aren't enlightened at 15 and 12. If you're in the comments, let me know. That's how come when we have people in the community that are in their 20s, we handle them with extra care, because it could have, what if we had known this in our 20s? So I say all that to say that I want to just drop a bit of a replay, if you will, of a play, and that's the dark side of enlightenment. Because why didn't anybody tell us about the dark side of this thing called enlightenment, right? And so today I want to be able to just drop a few gems, because we're in such a retrograded energy. It's important to be able to know some of this, so that if you are on this journey in this season, that you aren't surprised, you aren't thrown off, you aren't ready to quit, or that you don't sabotage yourself because of being uncomfortable, or it gets really intense, because sometimes awakening symptoms can mimic stress, distress. You don't know that change is happening, and you default back to the where you came from. So here we go. I want to see if I can share this with you. And see where we land today. Sometimes StreamYard makes this just too hard. One moment, one moment. I'm doing a bit of clicking because I'm a little off when it comes to this, because I got a little thrown off today with okay. All right. You should be able to see this video that I'm about to play for you. Nope, you cannot see it. So here we go. And let's begin the video. Just check this out for you. You call your friend. Many of you know that you'll share. You might, okay, let's just say you want to go to a Beyonce concert, right? Or something like that. I'm trying to fix another device over here. You let's say you call your friend and you want to go to a Beyonce concert. Anything, something like that, right? And your friend will be down to go to hang out. You know, when you're into doing certain things out there in those streets or whatever, you always had somebody who would run with you, right? But then when you start working on yourself, isn't it ironic that there are people who become disinterested? Let's just say, I'll give you a good example. This is real life. You say, hey, B is coming to town. Let's go. Now the tickets could be $175. You got to get an outfit. You know, you might you go to dinner before you go, whatever. Let's just say your investment is about $300. But you could ask someone to say, okay, you want to go see Jan Van Zant with me? And they're like, nah, girl. Or you could say, you know, hey, listen, I got this book, right? And it may be a novel. I don't know if people even still read books like talking about it anymore. And you say, oh, I want you to check out this book. Like I can't even tell you the last time I read a good novel, but one of my favorite ones is like The Hand I Fan With. And you say, but I want you to read this book by Deepak Chopra or something like that. Nah, girl, I'm good. So a lot of times we're in proximity to information coming to us to transform. Someone actually shared with me, you know, I asked this question. I asked it on my Instagram page. If you get a chance, go check it out on Instagram. And I asked the question, you know, if enlightenment came with a warning label, what would it say? So I'm asking you all, if enlightenment came with a warning label, what would you say? What would you say? Right? If enlightenment, if you, based off of where you are when you started your journey, and let's just say, I don't care what your journey is, it doesn't have to be super spiritual. Let's say that your journey began with weight loss, or in through weight loss you started to learn other things. Let's say your journey began because of divorce. And when I say journey, I'm talking about a spiritual journey. I am talking about enlightening yourself, and some people even call it light work. And where you become lighter, you become enlightened about new information and new things that you just never knew, right? And so when you become enlightened, if it came with a warning label, what do you think it would say? I want you all to put that in the comments. If it came with a warning label, what do you think it would say? Enlightenment, personal development, entrepreneurship, because all of these things are roads to enlightenment, personal development, anything that is going to grow you from the inside out. I want you all to put that in the comments. I want to wait on you, because I can tell you that there's a lot that people don't say when it comes to enlightenment. If I had told you, you know, of course, you know, the minister in me definitely thinks about the song that says, if I told you what was required of thee, would you still say yes? For those of you who started this your journey of personal development, personal transformation, evolving your mind, evolving your body, evolving your spirit, I think about the song, yes. If I told you what was required of thee, would you still say yes? That's my question to you. Because I honestly don't know. I sometimes I don't know if I had known what I know now. Now I know about me. Let me tell you about me so that those of you who are writing in the comments, you can tell me about you. I'm a seeker. I've always been a seeker. Now there is an aspect of me that follows the rules because I come from a Southern Baptist culture, a good girl culture, you know, that whole thing where you follow, you do what you're told. And a lot of girls tend to do what we're told, correct? Would you say so? Unless you were one of the rebellious kind, that's okay. No judgments here. I'm not going to be long today. I really want to serve you well. So let me just talk about this whole thing, enlightenment. You know, what is enlightenment in the first place? Enlightenment, I already said, is when the light of understanding comes to you about areas where you have believed based on the information that you have, and you find out that there is another way to see a thing, and it benefits you in a way where your spirit is happy, where your spirit is lighter, where you have understanding and you have clarity. You know that I just did the broadcast about, you know, how to overcome religious restriction. And, you know, for some reason that's been coming up a lot in people's processes right now. And sometimes, again, when we think about religion, we're not just talking about the orthodox religions, the three orthodox religions. There are things that we have been religious about that make us create a habit, right? Okay, so here's the thing. I want to go over this really quickly with you because I want to hear from you. Please take your time and respond in the comments, all right? So check this out. I'm going to be reading a little bit to you, squinting a little bit with these over 40 eyes so that you can understand. When we talk about this thing with enlightenment, people want to be free. People want to be free of whatever is weighing them down. So naturally, enlightenment makes you free. And so, and it could be anything. Of course, the areas that I specialize in right now, and I say right now because I give myself permission to evolve, to change, and to grow as spirit guides me. But I focus on love, sex, and money because those are blind spots. Oftentimes, they're blind spots for many of us. And I know all three are heavy duty topics. I get that. I get that. But essentially, it leads you to those issues of the heart, right? And why is it that, let's just say, if I were talking about something when it comes to reality TV, right? You are called, but you'll stay present for something regarding somebody else's drama. But we're talking about moving through it. Why is it that many people are called, but few choose to answer the call? Because there is a dark side to our spirituality that sometimes other people just are not cut out for. They are not, they you can get the call, but answering the call is another process in altogether. And check this out. Answering the process is answering the call is not a one-time event. You know, my favorite quote is that rebirth is not a one-time event. Okay. And so I love Karen just said that there are blockages. Okay, maybe the block keeps you from answering the call, but let's go further. What happens after you answer the call or you know that you're called? Check this out. There are people who know that they are called to this awakening. And it can be through your food, it can be through your diet, but sometimes people choose to stay the same or go back. What is that about? And there is there is a piece of it. Step number one. Let me just jump into it. Step number one. Number one is letting go. Letting go. When we talk about this process, a lot of times, many people are looking for what it is that you want to acquire, whether it be a man, more money, or I should say, not just a man, let me be politically correct, which is a partner or many partners, whatever floats your boat. Oftentimes you're looking for a reward. That's why you start the journey. You are looking for a reward, and there is one. But what people don't tell you in terms of this, I call this prenatal care. You might have seen it in the parents. And it's this thing called letting go. Okay. There are going to be moments where you feel like something is being taken away from you. People don't tell you that. I love the comments. Keep them coming. I'm going to call them out in just a minute. I want to get like 3 more, if you don't mind, from you all. People don't tell you that there's some things that you're going to have to let go. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of people will start the journey, and that's usually the very first step. You have to let go of old beliefs, old ideas, old conversations, sometimes old relationships and old paradigms that no longer serve you. And so letting go is not, it doesn't feel good, particularly for women who are used to being in control or protecting an image. And sometimes what you have to let go is the image. And so letting go is actually a trick of the universe into granting you your freedom. You hear me? Sometimes the thing that you are holding on to and resisting is freedom on the other side. Whatever that freedom is, there's transformation on the other side. There's abundance on the other side. There's good health, friendships in all walks of life on the other side of the thing that you're holding on to, the concept, the idea. The truth of the matter is, a lot of concepts and ideas that we are holding on to are outdated. So that's step number one. Number two, what happens when you have nothing else left to lose? Sometimes the only way that you will respond to your process is when you got nothing to lose. There you're gonna have moments that goes with this number two, where you feel like your back is up against the wall. You're gonna have dark nights of the soul on this journey. You're gonna have them. But the dark night of the soul also usually is a phenomenal rebirth on the other side. My intention is to encourage somebody. My intention is to encourage you to stay the course. My intention is for you to know that you haven't lost your mind. You're not going crazy, but what it is you're transforming. And so you have the dark night of the soul will humble you. You will feel like your entire world is crumbling sometimes. And you all know that we're in a cosmic period where there are 5 or 6 planets in retrograde. So sometimes you're going to be feeling stuff and you don't know where they come from. We're hormonal. So on top of the environment, the cosmic environment, and influence, which we were all born under a cosmic environment and influence, on top of our hormones, life that happens, there are sometimes things that you do not plan for. And if you have had those incidents in your life, sometimes there are still women who are still trying to get over a divorce that happened 10 years ago, a breakup that happened 20 years ago, because you tell yourself it's not supposed to be happening. You tell yourself that this is wrong, or it could be better. You tell yourself these things about it's not supposed to be like that. But a dark night of the soul is a part of the process. You will have things that will usher you into a dark night of the soul. I had a dark night of the soul that felt like I was melting, like literally, like my skin was melting after my father died. I talked about this on the prayer call this morning. I will never forget it. It was the loneliest place ever, and it literally felt dark when the light was out. But I knew something in me, my training, my coach training, my ministerial training, just being in processes, I knew I had to go through it. But God, it was harsh. And there was something being pulled off of me. And I was taking my father's, I mean, this may sound really crazy to say it like this, but I was taking my father's death really personal, because my question that sent me into the dark night of the soul was, how dare you leave me again? You left me when you left my mama, and now here you are, you gone again. I got stuff to do that I want you to see. And every list that I made in my mind of the things that I wanted my father to see, I would send myself deeper into a feeling of depression or grief, right? But oftentimes the dark night of the soul lasts longer because you're judging it. And because we have a false sense of self-worth anyway. So this is what they don't tell you about the dark side of our spiritual journey. But you see, many of us are very accomplished women, and we've accomplished so many things, but you sometimes have to let go of those external things that you have defined your self-worth by. And there's another boost in yourself that happens. So your trophies, your medals, the things that you put value in, your degrees, the paperwork, there's a place in the spiritual journey where none of that stuff matters, and it's not supposed to. Okay, so number three. Number three is a blow to your pride. Okay, there will be times when this spiritual journey will give you blows to your pride, honey. And you might have to eat crow. That's called forgiveness and atonement. And where you have to overcome your particular pride about a situation or a thing, where you may have to ask for help and support, because you might not be able to DIY. You try to do it your way, and you say, I'll do it, especially when you're an accomplished woman, especially when you've had to be independent, you've had to survive on your own, you've had to overcome a trauma or a situation. You start to DIY, and then before you know it, you're like, wait a minute, I need some support. It will humble you. You will feel the blow to your pride. There are things that I am still learning today about business that blows my pride. Why? Because I'm a minister. I'm a teacher. That's what I'm here for. And so business is not, there's some people who are born hustlers. There are some people who are born to just, do that type of thing. And so there are times when there are blows to my pride, when I realize I haven't been doing it well, I haven't been doing it right, that I've been leaving money on the table, but the journey continues, and it's an opportunity to rebirth. And so and check this out, the things that you have judged on step number 2, when you're in that dark night of the soul, they will blow your pride too, because you will come back and find yourself where you'll understand that there's a place in this journey where there are no rules, there are no shoulds, and there are no shouldn'ts. There are no techniques, there are no strategies, and there is no room for all of the egoic stuff. There is no room for it, because it becomes a divisive energy on your journey. There's a point where you have to let go of the ego. the need to prove. There's a point of that, and that will be a blow to your pride. Let me keep it moving. Number 4, there will be baggage. Why? Because your ego will throw a fit when you begin to change, when you begin to grow. And sometimes the ego that throws the fit are the people around you. The ego doesn't just have to be you. The ego can be the people around you who don't get your journey. Because when you start to transform, it's like a pie. If you can imagine a pie, you know, I'm a teacher, so there's part of me that wish I need to have a whole classroom set up when I'm teaching. I want you to imagine a pie. If you divide a pie, do y'all know how to cut a pie? You know, because grandmama and the old mamas, they will talk about you, honey, when you don't know how to cut a cake and you don't know how to cut that pie. You cut a pie wrong. Come on, y'all got to give me some likes. Talk back to me now. Talk back to me. Give me some emojis. But listen, imagine a pie. So typically you slice the pie down the middle. You don't go into a pie and just cut your little bitty corner. You know, like you just go cut your little piece. No, you messing up the pie. And so, but when you go down a pie, you cut the pie down the middle, then you make the cross. Typically, that's how you cut a pie. And make sure you clean that knife now. Don't be dragging the pie, breaking up the pie, and breaking up the cake. And then you begin the next slices, diagonal, right? So ideally, the pie is in equal pieces, but our life does not work like that. Because when you talk about a pie in our life, most of us spend more time at work. When we look at 40 hours on a job, let's just say an hour to get there, 30 minutes to get there, or whatever time it takes. Let's just say 10 hours total dedicated to a job. That pie already now is most of the slice is going there. Then you have church, you have family, cooking, kids, whatever. Now the pie is divided. When you shift, check this out. I want you to get this. When you shift, the pie shifts, because there's your pie, and then there's the collective pie of when Dr. Phil says you teach people how to treat you. You all heard that before. You teach people how to treat you. And so oftentimes people are used to you responding to them or being there for them. And so when you shift, the pie shifts. And everybody can be upset because they're not getting the piece of pie from you that they're normally getting. So the ego will show up in other people. Okay, number 5, triggered emotions. Once again, on this journey of enlightenment, people and a lot of light workers, particularly if you live out on the West Coast, try to make this journey as though you just, oh, it's all love and light. And if you're an empath, you think that you're not going to bump into some rough edges around dealing with people and interaction. No. When you start the journey to rebirth yourself, when you answer the call to change, to shift, and to grow, you're going to have some triggered emotions. You're going to have it. Your ego will throw fits. The pain body will go crazy. Excuse me, I jumped against baggage. I was talking about baggage. And that's when the ego will go crazy. Your buttons will get pushed. Why? I'm going back to number 4, because when it comes to baggage, you are going to have your buttons pushed, which connects to the triggered emotions of number 5. If you stop and shut down every time you have a triggered emotion, you now are saying that the trigger is more powerful than the truth that you have come into, the understanding that you've come into, the understanding that you've come into. Because I know that I encourage most of you who are transitioning out of a certain frame of thought to study and show yourself approved. Why do I always say study, read, and do all of these things? Why do I say that? I say that so that when you get these things, the blow to your pride, the triggered emotions, the baggage, the need, the requirement to let go, that you don't go back, that you don't just go back and turn back on your journey, that you don't quit, that you don't make it about other people, that you don't set yourself back because you stop and you quit on the journey. Okay. Now let me talk about these triggered emotions. I'm reading from my notes, y'all. Oh God. I love this quote from Miles Monroe. This quote from Miles Monroe just picked me up off of the floor. He says, "You will never become what you could be until you hate what you are." No, actually, he said, get angry with what you are, because anger brings change. And so again, those of us who are trying to avoid being angry, don't want to express anger, don't want to do this, honey, anger will facilitate change. And some of us do get stuck in anger, but he says that until you get angry with who you are, you can't become who you're supposed to be. Oh my God. Miles Monroe also talked about how we always try to make this journey about love and light. But he said God hated certain things. And there's a list of things that God hated. Now, of course, we take that a little too far with religion, but there are certain things that you're entitled to feel and not like and not want in your experience. Okay, let me keep going on this triggered emotions. So just because you wake up, that doesn't mean that everyone will love you and that you will never have struggles again in your life. Oh, I need y'all to get this. Because I wish that somebody had told me this on my journey. Just because you wake up, just because you're love and light, just because you are doing it doesn't mean everybody's going to like it. And sometimes the people that you least expect will be the ones that will be the most oppositional. Oh yeah, we're talking about them mamas, them daddies, them sisters, them brothers, them cousins. They ain't trying to hear what you got to say, but will you stay the course anyway? And all you got to do is go look at Jesus. The final thing that I want to offer today is you must come out of hiding. All the dark stuff within you that you haven't been wanting to look at, to be truthful about, it will all come to the surface when you're on this journey. That's nothing to be afraid of. You want it to come to the surface. You want it to come into the surface so that you can make some new choices, so that you can make some new agreements, so that you can break some yokes off of you and your generational line. You want it to come to the surface. But sometimes what we do is we protect it, we justify it, we try to validate it, we make it about other people. You want it to come to the surface on this journey. You do. But most of the time, the truth is the other flip side of why why most people don't choose to answer. I'm gonna go back to why y'all said it in the comments, and go back to some of the comments that you all said, and then I'm gonna give you a bonus. Okay, some of you all said distractions was one of the reasons why people choose not to answer. Some of you all said what you all. I'm going to the comments, trying to go all the way up here. Karen said, learning to trust my process. I had to look past traditional doctrines. You have and are constantly. Oh, okay. I'm glad to inspire you. I'm trying to accept and understand when the spirit comes up in me and speak a language that is completely complex but comfortable. Okay. Tell me what you mean by that. I don't fully understand that sentence. Tanaj says, step out of your comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable in order to get to your destination. Girl, you better come on. I want you to, Tanaj, if you watching, come on into the live. Come on, I want to introduce this sisterhood to you if you're still watching. Tanaj. Tanaj is a sister that's living in her vision, in her dream. I met her when I was living in Costa Rica, and she now is living abroad full time. She and her husband and her son, and literally, you all should check her out. Because so her comment actually has a lot. She's not saying something just to be deep and profound. When she says you have to get out of your get uncomfortable, it is nothing more uncomfortable when you're living abroad and you don't speak the language, but you figure out how to get your needs met. There's nothing more uncomfortable when you're traveling across the border with nasty border patrol agents who really don't, who may like an American and another one may not. Oh yeah, you got to get out of your comfort zone. When you go to the grocery store and you want to go buy some coconut oil in another country, and the coconut oil is $20 for a little bitty bottle, because we're so used to being convenienced, and we're so convenienced even on our spiritual journey. Church is convenient. Mosque is convenient. And so we protect these ideologies and don't grow. We don't grow. So let me continue. Oh, let me see. What else did I miss? We're talking about letting go. Because Christina said, what? You cut my cake wrong, Granny? You right, Granny will lose it. Don't you cut my cake wrong, huh? Okay. Oh, I don't, what does that mean? Speaking in tongues. You're trying to learn a new language. Now somebody said, all I do is hide. Thank you for telling the truth. We love the truth in this space, right? But how can you be who you're called to be when you're hiding? Because your gift makes room for you. Now, I'm not a big Steve Harvey fan, but he said, when the truth comes, the truth just comes. He said, some of you are trying to follow your passion, when the word said your gift makes room for you, not your passion. And just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that you're supposed to be doing it for your livelihood. Oh God, that blessed me so good, because sometimes we're trying to fit square pegs in a round hole, even when it comes to our career, to even sometimes how we love in our relationships. We're trying to make things fit that don't fit on the journey. And a part of the journey of enlightenment and freedom and evolving, and it is that you have the willingness and you have the courage to live your best life. You have the willingness and the courage to do what it is that your soul is crying for and calling you to. What are you being called to? Whatever it is. It doesn't have to look like that person's. The one thing that hurts me in business sometimes, and I mean hurts my feelings more than anything, because you all know that I give a lot. You all know that I put out quality content. Sometimes it hurts my feelings, honey, when I see some of the stuff that some of these coaches are putting out here, and they're getting paid royally, that they have $5,000, $50,000 launches on bullshit, to be quite honest with you. And here I am trying to crack codes with you, and sometimes I walk away saying, man, they don't want this. They don't want this. Why in the world do you got to do something else? The other day I said, I'm living in Atlanta. Let me just go work for Delta Airlines. Let me just go back and get a job. And I know people are saying, well, LaTanya, you're on TV. You're at the top of your game and doing this and that. But sometimes, honey, when you're looking and measuring yourself with somebody else's stick, you will always fall short. But when you become the measurement for you, when you set a new standard for you, when you create another reference point for you, then you are relieved of the weight of comparison, the death of comparison. I'm deviating a little bit, but not so much, because the bonus that I wanted to leave with you is be who you are. Many are called and few choose to answer because they don't know who they are and they're trying to still be somebody else. And being who you are, sometimes you have so much division in your heart with who you are or who you have been, that you haven't forgiven yourself. That you haven't forgiven yourself for who you have been or who you think you are, that you are still holding yourself hostage to what you think. And there is more to you. There's more to you. There's more to me. Just even there's you. The word says, he who has begun a good work in me shall complete it. How shall it be completed? It ain't complete. Completion is different than just finishing, quitting, shutting down, giving up. Completion means that the job is done, honey. That's why the race is not given to the swift, but to those who endure to the end. What's going on with your endurance? Huh? Holla at your girl. I'm asking you. What's going on with your endurance? Because some of us need to get gangster with this thing. We need to get just as gangster. Some of y'all will get up and get indignant in the face of somebody that calls you out of your name. But what about when you call you out of your name? What about those negative self-talk, the negative self-talk that happens in you? Do you get indignant with it? Huh? Do you do the neck roll? Huh? With yourself? Do you be like, B, I'm not taking this from you. I'm not taking this from you today. I'm not here for it today. Do you talk to yourself like that? Do you get in your own face like that and tell yourself, I'm not here for that bullshit today. I'm not doing that with you today. I'm not going down that road with you today. We're going to do a new thing today. See, many are called, but sometimes people say when you're talking to yourself, you crazy. No. You're not. Sometimes that's why the song say you got to speak over your life. You still waiting for somebody else to answer your call. That's some bullshit right there. If my phone rings right now, I got it right here. If my phone rings and everybody in the room goes to answer my phone, tell me how you feel when somebody go pick up your phone. I don't care if it's your children. You look at them like, what are you doing? Why are you answering my phone? That's my phone. Right? But what about your call? And your call doesn't have to look like mine. Your call doesn't have to look like hers. Your call doesn't have to look like anything that you've seen on the planet. It may be a hint of similar, but when you're called, why are you expecting somebody else to answer it? The preacher, the prophet. Only you can answer your call. And only a few of you will. I know that. I know that now from doing this work. Because this work is not for the faint of heart. But baby, God, when the word says, creating me a clean heart, renewing me a right spirit, when not for the faint of heart, clean heart, when you are renewed, my daddy used to say to me, he used to say, baby, whatever you do, he said, get your education. He said, because when you get it, now, of course, I disagree with this philosophy a little bit because it's very traditional, but let me tell you how it applies in a minute. He used to say, get your education. This is the part I like from Dad. He said, because can't nobody take it away from you. Once you get it, can't nobody take it away from you. I say study and show yourself approved on this journey. Answer the call, but keep on answering the call. Don't answer the call one time. There's more calls than your sensuality will call you more than once. Yes, your womanhood, your pleasure, your orgasm. There's more levels to that. Your love will call you. The man or woman that you married 10 years ago, give them permission to change. There may be another call on your marriage. You may not be the same. You need to have the courage to be able to be in a marriage or in a relationship to say, baby, the woman that you married 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 2 years ago, I'm not the same. But some of you too afraid to do that because you fear loss more than you fear death and staying in the cocoon, staying in the womb. Oh my God, the Holy Spirit's taking over a little bit because I was about to end this live at 30 minutes. I was doing good. I was doing good. But let me leave you with this, because you know I'm a spiritual midwife, right? And so check this out. I said that this is prenatal care, but let me finish this thought. The call even for your money and for your business is different. I have been bold enough to pray the prayer around my business to say, if you want me to do something else, Holy Spirit, show me what it is. Because I don't want my ego to be wrapped up in being the Rev coach. I don't want my ego to be wrapped up in being a minister. I don't want my ego to be wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in being any kind of teacher. And so if you want me to go create shea butter, I'm willing to go do a new thing because I don't want to struggle. I'm not going to struggle all my life. So if you're looking at what you're doing and you're struggling and straining, maybe there's another level of the call for you. But many of us are trying to duplicate what we see other people doing. Okay. Whew. This is what I want to close with. Dana, if you're watching, this is probably why my head is hurting. Because when you have a word trapped in your body, you got to get it out. And this thing started flowing this morning on Paradigm Shift 48. If you haven't listened to the piece that we did on being a love agent, please go listen. I'm getting myself in trouble because now y'all gonna start asking me for the link, and it has not been uploaded to YouTube yet. Okay, I know Anika, Pastor Anika, if you watching, I know them good old elders and ushers say, don't fan the Holy Spirit, baby. Don't fan the Holy Spirit. Y'all know, do y'all know that when y'all in church and y'all quick to go fan somebody that you're really not supposed to fan? The Holy Spirit's supposed to let it move, but since I'm in live, I want to get through this. And then I'll go and have my dance. And then I'll go have my shout for what's moving through me. But listen to this. This journey, particularly around rebirth, when you get pregnant with yourself, the womb is designed to expand and grow with the embryo. When the womb does not expand and grow with the embryo in the womb, it creates what's called spontaneous abortion, sudden miscarriages. Some of you have been pregnant with yourself for so long that all you need to do, oh my God, I don't want to mess up. I want to move. I want to move. I want to show you. I want to demonstrate the squatting position. Some of you need to get, I can't do it right on camera so you can see, to get in the squatting position. Because you know the way we're taught to have babies, right, is to lay on our back. But the truth of the matter is that the best way to the ancient way is to squat, the same way you would when you go into the bathroom to release. But when it comes to the growth of the embryo. There's a part of you when you get in, when you don't want to answer the next call, when you don't want to grow, when you still trying to stay in the same space. Sometimes you're being called to another tribe. Sometimes you're being called to another body of knowledge, another thing. Yes, it's always going to be another thing, because God is not mocked and limited, and the creative intelligence has not revealed all its secrets to you. Do you know that the rules and stuff that we've been taught are probably the lowest vibration of understanding your own personal discipline? But then there are laws, and then there are higher laws. But let me say this: there are rules, then there are laws, and then there are higher laws. But you can't get to the higher law until you understand the law. And sometimes you might have to let go of the rules. I said I was going to stop teaching. Didn't I say that? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Any questions or comments? I'm going to close this thing on out. I'm still just as the ancestors, honey, the Holy Spirit, whatever y'all want to call it. They are working with me today. Oh, Lord. I'm just pausing while my dog is over there doing something he don't have no business. I'm pausing to see if there are any questions or comments. Lord have mercy. It makes no sense that I am soaking wet sometimes when I finish teaching on a Wednesday. My husband say that I need to hurry up and go on and open my church, not just my little Sunday thing. I said that publicly. Yes, I did. I did say that publicly. And that's where we're going to stop. That's where we're going to stop. Listen, y'all, let me tell you the synchronicity, because we think that sometimes things are out of order, disrupted, or you plan the best plans, you set up the best strategy. Megan has been assisting me setting everything up, and nothing worked. So we had to run a new play. And I went to just a Rhema saying, okay, Spirit, what have I not shown? Well, this particular video was in the private section. It was in the unlisted section. Now, that's a word for somebody. I want that word to be for somebody who thinks there's more. I already did a workshop. I told you 2 people said there's more work. Women raising children who said there's more. The moment we stop learning is the moment we start dying. The moment we get into a comfort zone. Because there's always something more to learn, first of all, even about yourself, but about your lineage, about your culture, because we've all been lied to and miseducated. So why didn't they tell us? They didn't know what they didn't know, and some people willingly forgot. So we're in the season of Pluto in Aquarius of revelation for the next 20 years. And so I want you to subscribe to this series, invite a friend. We're going to have a show on deconstructing faith and religion with pastors, former pastors, people who have made new choices and decisions. Now this month, because this month is so centered on health, that it will be around our reproductive health, our menstrual, like a lot of things that we didn't know, that nobody told us. How is it that our mothers forgot to tell us certain things? Did perimenopause exist before a certain time? That's a new concept for a lot of women. We're going to have a show with shamans, with medicine women. We've done this before. Yes, we have, but we've never really looked at the question, why didn't anybody tell us about how to invest our money? Why didn't anybody tell us about the plot against our families? So now those of us who come from broken families, those of us who are women who are so independent, that we don't know, the agendas. We don't even know certain things anymore about how to grow our own food because we don't have a relationship with the earth and with land. How is it that our ancient teachings have become sacrilegious and something to be afraid of? I promise you, I'm so far removed from it that this series is necessary for those who are not. I pray that those of you who heard this message, it was a divine setup for me, because there was a part in that particular message, the dark side of enlightenment, where 6 and 7 planets were in retrograde. Isn't that ironic? And they're in retrograde again. Well, that's what retrogrades do. They bring you back to the places that you forgot to look at. Please don't get into any space in your mental, emotional, or spiritual health where you think that you have done it all. You know it all. Aha moment. There's a difference between awareness, acknowledgement, and awakening. You can have awareness and not awaken. That's a lot of people who Google information, who repost information, who go to one workshop and think that their whole life has changed. One experience, one plant medicine ceremony, one therapy session. Then there's acknowledgement. That's the moment on your healing journey where you recognize that you need to do something about it, and you need to do something different. And then there's awakening. And awakening is like rebirth. It's not a one-time event. So I brought this to you because we're in such a period of time where our shadow work is going to be an entry point to get us to the other side. For those who are looking for their rainbow at the end of the storm, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I would liken staying the course. Why didn't anybody tell us that it gets easier? That why didn't anybody tell us that the more you exercise the muscle, that it gets stronger? Why didn't anybody tell us about cognitive dissonance? The part that doubts first, and depending on your indoctrination, how indoctrinated you are. Can you all understand what I'm saying when I say indoctrinated? Because some of us who have degrees don't think we're indoctrinated. Some of us who are executives in certain positions, we don't think we're indoctrinated. And I always think about the people who are in proximity to me, who I never want to ask me, why didn't you tell me? You could have told me. I'm going to close with this. This is a good point. This just came to me. Totally related, but a little bit unrelated. Let me tell you how. Y'all know that my husband was the first chef for Slutty Vegan, and I don't do call out posts. I don't talk about people. And most of the time, I absorb even the ones who have talked bad about me. I could go for years and never say anything because I'm on to the next thing, on to the next one, on to the next thing, y'all know I got a million ways to get it. I don't get stuck. Y'all know that Swiss Beat song? On to the next one, on to the next one. Well, I'm an air sign, Gemini. I move. I keep it moving. Because I also have a lot of Taurus, so I take a lot. I'm loyal. But when I finally cut you, you cease to exist. So look, let me tell you. So this person said to me, well, I heard what you were saying about that situation, but I didn't know you meant like that. And I didn't, and why you didn't tell me? Because many of us have friends, particularly in the business world, highly accomplished women who are leading their own movements, who you can't tell anything to. So somebody could be telling you and your ear gate is closed. Your eyes are covered over. Your heart is shielded. So when you say, why didn't anybody tell me? Ask yourself first, did somebody tell you? Did success leave clues? Did you get a knock and a nudge from the spiritual realm and you ignored it because you were afraid? Did somebody tell you not to do certain things, but you judged them as hotep or as a weirdo or even ungodly? Some of you judge people who don't believe the way you do as not being on the road to being loved by God. How dare you? How dare you? Because this is not a season to stay ignorant and walk around happy and ignorant. If you really want to know, you can. But do you know that there are some people who don't want to know what you know, even if you feel like you don't know what you don't know, or the stuff that you think you already know? There's some people who don't even want to know what you know now. Am I talking to myself? Or are you all having these awarenesses as you become more and more enlightened and on your journey? Some of you had to be enlightened so that you can stand in your calling to be the enlightener. Some of you you already know that you are the one to be the enlightener. But take care of yourself first. For the rest of the year, the cosmic energy is going to be very intense. We're not calling it lock in September, lock in season. We're not trying to lock into anything. But we will focus. We will attract. We will magnetize. We will have new commitments. But I don't want to be locked in. I don't want to be locked up. I want to unlock. Let me know if you with me. I know I'm a little loud. I'm a little country and loud right now. But I got happy just with the spirit of the message that came through. And you would think that it didn't come through me. But sometimes I have to look at it and say, whoo, oh, wow. Spirit is using it. How many of you want to be the shifter? How many of you declare and decree that I am the shifter? Drop that in the comments. I am the shifter. I am the shift that I've been waiting for. I am the shifter. Get that in your spirit. I am the shifter. I'm the shift her. I'm the shift him. I'm the shift it. I'm the shift. I'm the shift. I'm the shift that I've been waiting for. Huh? Talk to me. Speak it over your life. Because then you'll stop waiting for shift to happen, because shift is happening. And when you get used to looking for the opportunity to shift, you won't think life is happening to you. You'll know that life is happening through you. We are going to have a shift challenge starting next week. Be the shift. It's an elevation of all of the other shift teachings that I have taught. Some of you don't know that I have a 21-day shift everything series. Those of you who have enrolled in FAB, you've gotten a tad bit, a taste of it in the 7-day process. But there's 21 days of shift. And then we did a paradigm shifting consciousness for 48 days, I believe. It's time to shift again. That's what Spirit has been saying to me all week. And I'm like, Lord, why would you give me something else to do? But those who are already in the portal, you will get access to this. I'm inviting those of you who are not in the portal to join us. Come to the portal. Get in the portal so that you can become the portal. You can become the shift that you've been waiting for. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. We have Rebirth Sunday. On Sunday, we've been doing the Return of the Matriarch series. Every month, I've been introducing a new principle of the 12 powers of woman. And so I want you to come and join us. The link is in the description. It's always in my bio. For those of you who, even in the community, who is saying, I want a blueprint reading, I want a schedule, you can go to any profile and get access to both the portal, to any readings that you desire, and just come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on, come on, come on, join me. Come on in the room. Okay. I don't even care anymore if I can't sing. What I do know is I got a song. I might not can't sing to y'all, but I got a song. I got a melody. I got to dance. I got to praise and I got to get it out. I got to praise. I got to praise and I got to get it out. I got to praise. Sometimes when it's your turn to dance, other people won't hear the music that's inside of you. If you wait for other people to hear the music that's playing inside of you, if you wait for some people to join you on the dance floor, you're not being the shift. Don't wait. Bring your music. I'm from Gen X, where we used to carry big old jukeboxes on our shoulder. Radio Rahim. We're going to need it in the next few days. But I think you got the point. Are there any questions, any closing comments of what the best things that you heard that shifted you, where you had a belly leap? Let's do a quick little wrap up of questions of anything that you heard where you had a belly leap. Thank you, Shayla and Megan, who stood ready to come on for the community panel. I thank you all so much for your refreshing energy that you bring to the community. I thank you for your leadership. I thank you for your voice. And I pray that more like you show up. Yes. All right, Takoa said, I'm totally going back to listen to this. But if there's anybody that you heard a belly leap, what? Be open to moving. Ashe. Anybody else had a belly leap from something that you heard? Digest it with it before you run off. Digest it before you run off to the new thing. Shayla says, so many things stood out. Confirmation on how anger pushed me into using my voice and my purpose. Ashe. Okay. Yes. Anybody else? How many of you really like it when I start dropping that old hymn with my new mind, with my new thought, with my new energy, huh? Because see, I can move in and out. I want you to be able to move in and out and don't get stuck and caught up by the words, huh? Awareness, acknowledgement, awaken the difference. Yes, yes, yes. Come on through, Juicy She Rose. I love the Juicy She Roses. Different quality, different vibe. Thank you to all the Juicy Butterflies who are here watching as well. All right, if that's it, if that's all, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Join the portal so you can join the challenge. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, Rebirth with Latanya, so that I can get this work out of my belly and birth something new with you. Let's birth something new in this season, this eclipse season, this powerful, potent September energy. Let's set ourselves up for 2026. One step at a time, one prayer at a time, one affirmation at a time, one workshop at a time. Let's be very intentional. I'll see you on the other side. Have a wonderful day, everyone.